All right, here we go on a Thursday. Happy early Valentine's Day, everybody. We're hurtling toward the weekend in dramatic and exciting fashion. Half hour, 45 minutes with us. Welcome into the United Podcast here with Gannon Athletics here at the John Russell Brewing Company on a snowy Thursday. I thought we were clear of this for the whole week. It was 45, 50 on Monday, 35, 40 on Tuesday. We were starting to trend upward where the weather was concerned, and then Mother Nature brought us back down to earth quite literally today. It's snowing again. Oh, well, such is life in this neck of the woods in the month of February. Welcome in. This is United Podcast to you by our friends at the John Russell Hospitality Group. They are our proud and presenting sponsor of this and every single show. We're here every single Thursday, and throughout the month of February, we're staying right here at the John Russell Brewing Company. Exciting show for you tonight. One team, the sole focus of our show. We got a couple of exciting segments for you as well, and we're debuting a new segment tonight as well, which you'll get to see a little bit later on in the show. Here's what we have in store for this evening before we get to our dish of the day. Women's lacrosse going to join us on the show tonight. You can hardly believe that their season begins on Saturday. They're one of the other winter-spring hybrid teams that are getting ready to start their season. They have a bevy of road games before they're home, but they're excited to get the season started nonetheless. Saturday will be their first game. We'll talk to head coach Jenny Pulowski this team as well in just a couple of minutes. We'll also recap PNC Achievers Night, Bud Elwell Award and Rand Garrity Award, which were all last night in our trio of award ceremonies from Wednesday's basketball games against Edinburgh. We'll also take a quick look at some playoffs coming down the road, including swimming PSACs and the women's wrestling regional that is happening in just about a week's time from now, starting on Friday. Speaking of, before we get to our dish of the day, do you want to the reason we're podcast early, you can watch and then get over to the Highmark Event Center because at 7 o'clock is the remake of the senior night that was postponed on Friday for women's wrestling. 5 seniors, including Calla Zackrell, who you see on your screen, will be recognized before the Golden Knights take on Bethany for their final home duel of the season before the regional. So take in our podcast, and then you can head over to the Highmark and watch our women's wrestling team. Make sure to be loud, stay, and support our team. Senior night begins at 6:45. All right, that's it for announcements for the moment. Let's get to our dish today. We got a good one and a spicy one, no pun intended, to start our show tonight. All right, our dish of the day. It's going to be enjoyed by the women's lacrosse players because I'm a who watch this show. The buffalo chicken pizza is our dish of the day. Pretty self-explanatory. Buffalo chicken dip is a certified staple favorite around Erie. In fact, the amount of dip that people in this area think Erie was the creator of that. But no, we're just pepperoni balls and Smith's hot dogs, people. That's the thing around here. But buffalo chicken pizza is our dish of the day. It is great. If you're a fan of spice and everything nice, make sure to go grab it today. Maybe take your date to Valentine's Day here on Saturday, or you can come tonight and watch our podcast live for the next half hour or so on the United Podcast to get the dish of the day, the buffalo chicken pizza, which I'm going to give to Riley Finnegan so she can present it to you and then hand it off to Chuck, who hopefully is not going to eat the entire we're talking. Go. I was going to say, luckily for you, it's still relatively warm, though if Chuck say about it, it may change. All right, let's bring in our guest tonight. Charlie Hunter joining us in a few minutes. Jenny Pulowski, head coach, joining us in just a couple of minutes. But senior goalkeeper Riley Finnegan is who starts off our show for women's lacrosse as they're getting set for the start of their season on Saturday, which is ridiculous. I literally feel like we were talking about fall practice 2 weeks ago, Riley, but you've been around a time or two on this team. This season creeps up on you pretty quick, does it not?
Sure does, yeah. And a shorter preseason this year, even shorter, it came up really, really quick for sure.
What was the preparation like in getting set for this fall classes, right? You're practicing, you're getting ready with your team. Take me through what that last few months has been like for this team and getting ready for
fall. We talked about that on numerous different occasions of, we got to start the hard work in the fall and letting things fall into place in the fall and see where everyone is doing then. And then when we get to preseason, we're just ready to go, making sure that everyone's working hard in the off season. We had like accountability groups there where people were kind of holding each other accountable, making sure that we're doing everything fitness wise over the break to make sure that we can come back ready. And The last month and a half, 2 months has just been lacrosse, like really emphasizing making every second on the field count and putting your all in every day just so that yourself better and also next you.
I'm sure it's hard for you to imagine the fact that you're already a senior. It is for us. Kids grow up so fast, and I mean, you're not kids anymore, but you know what I'm getting. Take me through your time in your career, how you've been able to get used to the off season, the training preparation process, because it takes a long time to get used to it, I'm sure. How have you been able to get acclimated to this process of getting ready for a season yourself? And does that allow you to help maybe talk to other younger teammates to help them get ready as well?
Yeah, I mean, my mindset is someone is always working harder than you. And I really, really approach every break with that mindset. Every day that I let myself have off, every week that I let myself have off is a day that someone else in the PSAC is working hard towards the same probably have, which is win. So that's my mindset, and I try to impart that on my teammates as much as I can and just let them know that all the hard work that you put in is going to pay off. And maybe that doesn't happen your freshman year or your sophomore year, but when you get older, when you progress through the years and you get to know your team and you get to know your own skill set better, it really, really helps to put in that work as soon as you get here and when you start.
Let's talk the start of the season for you. You're going to have a chance to start in the cage this season, really grab the – you're never going to peak, right? The expectation is to get better as the season goes on. But for you, what are your hopes? What are some of the things that you expect from yourself in a couple?
Yeah, just a lot of consistency. I mean, coaches and I have talked about it pretty much every meeting is they are expecting consistency. I'm expecting consistency from myself and just being that leader on the team in goal for everyone that everyone needs and just communicating well, being a strong leader in the cage and just all around giving everyone the consistency that they deserve to hopefully help give our team the edge to win.
So we're looking at your schedule right now, 6 straight road games to begin the season. Not an easy stretch, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Take me through, if you will, what is going to be the key for the team in this first stretch of games before you come home on the 17th of March. That's going to be key for this team.
Lots of reflecting after games and taking the good things that we did and the bad things and just getting better after every game. If we can see progress from all these away games to the last away game and the first home game, like that's going to be huge for us.
What has been your message to some of the younger players on this team? You have a good mix, right? We're talking to you. We're going to talk to Charlie in just a couple of minutes. You have veterans. You also have some newcomers that will fill big roles. What's that message to them to get them ready to go for the season and on the same page with the veteran leadership that you have?
Really try to listen. We've been talking a lot about communication, and part of that is listen. They give you feedback, ask questions, always ask questions. I'm of the opinion that no question, maybe it never hurts to ask.
So, all within reason.
Of course, yeah. So it never hurts to ask. Just ask questions and listen when someone's giving you feedback. And just, like we want to win and we want to work hard, but find the fun in it too. We all play this for the love of the game. And if you can win games, that's great. But if you can have fun doing it, that's great as well.
Fun is there with love because you have to give up Valentine's Day so you can play. But I'm sure you wouldn't have it any other way with your season starting. Riley, we can't wait for the year to begin. Best of luck on Saturday. Best of luck before we see you back at home. I know it's going to be it feels like a month from now, literally, but it's going to be way less. Best to see you on Saturday.
Thanks so much.
All right, let's bring on Charlie Hunter. Riley Finnegan going to be the big player in the crease this year for Gannon. And Charlie, look at that women's lacrosse schedule. 6 games away from home to begin the season, but then 3 of the next 5 are at home. DUville is the home opener on March the 17th for the Golden Knights women's lacrosse team, as we hope by then the snow is dissipated, and it may not. It may. Yes, we're used to cold. And we might get sunshine for the final game of the season, but that's then. This is now. Charlie Hunter joining the show. Another senior is going to be a key part of the attack. And again, as I talk to Riley, you've been doing this such a long time. It's got to be muscle memory by now, right? Can you, though, take me back to when you started as a freshman and probably lights, you're like, what the heck am I doing? I have no idea what's happening here. What has that process been like for you to get more comfortable and acclimated from when you really started your lacrosse career?
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, freshman year, I kind of felt like I was just thrown in with the Wolves and figure it out. You got to start from square one and produce what you have to do. And like each year, I just become more and more comfortable and more confident, especially just like my sophomore to junior year was like where I really saw my growth become more like a dominant player than a behind the scenes player. And I think that's.
So Riley did a great job of describing the expectations of the preseason, wanting to communicate more, right, wanting to get better every day. I'm going to give you a chance to describe this team in one word. Take me, if you had to pick one, what's this team, the mantra, the motto of this team in one word this season?
I would say fun. Because, okay, if we have fun, I think we play our best lacrosse. And when we're all like laughing with each other, hyping each other up, and like just having a good time out there, it's when we win games, we're at our best, and it's like the best feeling ever.
I feel like sometimes we have so many conversations with great student athletes on this podcast, and this is the time where I feel like you can be the most you, right? Because when you're in competition, you have to be really focused and really intent. But sometimes the art of having fun gets lost when you are going through a preseason and practices are crazy and you have no time off and no days off, and you have to, right, to get ready. But what is the key to finding fun in sports? Because everyone from whatever walk of life they're from started a sport because they really fell in love with it. What's the key finding fun in a season where whatever team you're on, whatever sport you play, it's a long grind?
Yeah, I think what I like to do is just like say that I have their backs no matter what. And yes, in games during season, you're going to get frustrated, upset about outcomes that can't really control or you can control. But at the end of the day, we're all like a big family, honestly. And when we can lean on each other and have that support to just be yourself and know that it's okay to make a mistake and just to bounce back from there, we just tend to do a lot better.
Take a look at your schedule again. As I go into the next thing, I mentioned this to Riley. She gave a good answer about what you're telling the underclassmen to be successful. And she brought up a very interesting point of don't be afraid to ask questions, something that maybe is a fear of younger student athletes because they don't want to make it seem like they don't know or that they're wrong. What is another piece of advice maybe this veteran leadership group is giving to the freshman, sophomore transfer students as they get ready for the season?
Especially for the attack position, I've been really just saying, like, go for it. You have to put yourself out there to make the mistakes or get better. And I've been really pushing the underclassmen to try new things, try to just break out of the shell that they're in and what they were considered as like a high school player versus now in college, you can transform into anything. And I've just been really pushing that idea.
Okay, so give me an example from your perspective. What were you considered coming out of high school? What would you consider yourself now?
Honestly, high school, I was still like a very like all around midi, kind of just running everywhere. And now I would say I'm just a lot more confident. And I would say in high school I didn't like defense, but now
who does? Come on.
But now I will say it's very even with me, and I love getting a good cause turnover. So
listen, better you than me. Defense was never my thing, and you still run around all over. You just do it with a purpose more.
Yeah.
Love it. Charlie Hunter joining us here on the United Podcast. Women's lacrosse season beginning on Saturday. There's a lot of meat on the bone on this schedule. Of course, conference play you'll start to get into more into March. You have a couple of big games before that, but this team has been right on the cusp of getting into that conference tournament, and I know it's a big goal of yours going into this season. If you had to pick one or two things that maybe the team wasn't able to accomplish last year that you think if you do this year you'll get into the tournament, what do you think that might be?
It's definitely playing a full 60-minute game. We have a tendency to either have a super strong half of the first two quarters or super strong end half. And we've been really trying to work on continuing playing the same way we do each quarter, each half. And I feel once we put those pieces together, that's when we see like differences in games where we're going to come out with that win.
What do you like about some of the newcomers that we can expect? I know fans are ready to get on the field and watch you all play, and they know you, they know Riley. But for some people that they have not seen yet, what can we expect from those newcomers? Maybe an injection of energy into the lineup come your first home game on the 17th.
Yeah, definitely with the freshmen and even just some of the returners, they've gotten that confidence with our just new team and how the dynamics working. And I think some of our freshman attackers, they're gonna get rowdy. They're gonna get us hyped up when goals happen. So I'm excited.
Is there a best goal celebration last year? So this team in particular has the greatest goal celebrations, maybe out of any team on campus. It's awesome. And I love being on the sideline last year and watching those. It's one of the most fun parts of my job. Who has the best goal celebration, or maybe like tunnel entrance, whatever you want to describe it as? Is there one person in particular that has that? You can say yourself.
I was gonna say myself.
So just describe that for us.
I mean, it's whatever I'm feeling, especially if through the tunnel, I do my handshake with Coach Killian, but I mean, especially if it's a defender on me a lot and I scored on her, I'm like, I'm the man. So I usually do a little flex here and there, or I like to get other people involved, though. That's my thing. And
is there a favorite bench celebration of yours? My favorite was last year when I think it was like one of those raise the roof where you're raising someone on a chair. I think there may have been a chair involved with someone last year. I don't even know. They were awesome. Is there a favorite bench celebration of yours?
I liked when they were sword fighting on the side. That was a good one. But
it allows for that. And I'm sure many celebrations to come in the future as well. Charlie, just what's the excitement of the season in general? I know we talk about all the strategy and the nitty-gritty and what we can expect, but how exciting is it to finally be in game mode in 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, with this being our last season for the seniors, we're really just pushing everything we have just to come out with the goals that we intended at the start of the season to fulfill them. And I'm just really excited to play again. I know the weather is a little scary right now, but we'll play in whatever. We're ready to go, and we just want to have that competition and win.
They're all like all-weather tires. They play in any weather, rain, snow, sleet, whatever you want to call it. Charlie Hunter joining us. Thanks again, Charlie. Good luck on Saturday, and can't wait to see you when you come back on the 17th. But until then, 7 big games ahead on the road.
Thank you.
All right, Charlie Hunter joining us on the show. Head coach Jenny Pulowski about to join us in just a moment. They're pros at this, Charlie and Riley, and they'll be a big part of this women's lacrosse team and their start of the season. Now you can both enjoy the pizza. There you go. Hopefully it's not too cold. It's still spicy, I can guarantee that. Jenny and I are the wimps here. We're just going to talk while they eat the pizza because we hate spicy stuff. But there again is the schedule. You mentioned the home opener on the 17th. A couple of big home games as well down the stretch of the season. Of course, that conference slate really gets into the thick of things at the end of March. Back-to-back home games against Lock Haven and Edinburgh to bookend the month of March and the start of the month of April. Slippery Rock, IUP, Seton Hill, the other home games for the Golden Knights in what will be an exciting conference slate. But before then, you look at the schedule and Wheeling, the first opponent for women's lacrosse on Saturday. And head coach Jenny Pulowski gets to spend her Valentine's Day with the team she loves most, and what will be an exciting trip to Wheeling coming up on Saturday. Head coach Jenny Pulowski joining us now. It's already here. It is wild. It doesn't feel like it because it's snowing outside. I can't get over that because I thought we were home free of this week. But another season around the bend. How excited are you to be back in the saddle, back ready for another season?
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to finally see them playing other people. You know, we had a scrimmage this past weekend, and it was nice to see it not just be maroon versus white and get to actually play other competition and see how we can line up with that. So just really excited to see them get on the field and hopefully accomplish the things they've been working for.
What things did you like that you saw out of that scrimmage from last week that you think will translate to the field this week?
Yeah, I think a big thing for us this year on the offensive side is just having a multitude of goal scorers. I think we got to see that this weekend. Obviously, we still want more and more. Like in my ideal world, we'd love everyone to score a goal every game, but we got to see some freshmen making impact on that offensive side as well as, you know, returners and just a really good balance in that position. And then I think defensively, just kind of anchoring that unit, fixing the little things we can to, you know, be a little bit better. We're encouraging them to take smart risks this year and make more of a stat line impact than maybe we've seen from them in the past. So excited to see that in play.
I want to ask about smart risk because it seems straightforward, but when you dive into it, is that a strategy thing where you want them to be aggressive, but you don't want them to over pursue? What would you classify smart risk as, and how do we see that translate this season?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think smart risk really is one, they have to trust their teammates, right? Especially on that defensive end. They have to know if they go for that risk, their teammate has their back whenever they have to, pick up the slack. And for us, it's a lot of pressuring in certain areas, knowing the personnel of the team we're going to play, where we can, take those risks and who we can take them against, and just going for every 50-50 ball. If we cause the ball to go on the ground, we want that to be in our sticks. So just really encouraging them to have the confidence to go for it.
But you're take a quick gander at the team photo that was done on media day. When you look at the makeup of this team, you've got your vets, you've got your newcomers. How do you assess the roster and what it could shape up to be this?
Yeah, I think it's been just such a dynamic year. Like you said, with the returners and having a lot of firepower coming back in that squad, and my confidence in them to be able to perform at a high level, but seeing them also bring the underclassmen along, and we put a lot of pressure, so to say, on some of those freshmen and underclassmen that are coming up the ranks and filling big roles. And I've been very clear with them that they are going to have to fill those shoes, and just being able to see them really grow into that in such a quick time, great. And mesh has been awesome to see.
So you've been impressed with the underclassmen coming in and being able to acclimate with the team?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always hard it's going to of an adjustment, whether it's the speed, the physicality, the expectations of play at this level. Obviously in the fall we get to compete a little bit and play some different levels of competition, which has been great. But I think as we've gone through preseason, just getting them out of that freshman mindset and into that kind of returner mindset almost has been something that's really helped them.
Let's take a look at your schedule again and maybe assess the opening road slate, starting with Wheeling on Saturday. You have a tough schedule to begin the year that bookends with Wheeling and then at Damon, which was a home game for you last year. What's going to be the key from your opponents that you look at in the first 6 games to come away with a bevy of wins here before returning?
Yeah, I think with how our schedule is set up, with these non-conference games to start, a lot of that is, managing recovery, planning, things like that. But I think from the level of competition, it's a very even level of competition to our team. Games that, I always like to try to schedule, but super easy win. We want to prepare for the tough schedule that is our conference. So I think if we go in and we execute the game plans that we come up with, that we have the personnel that can bring home wins.
And I know as we heard from your 2 seniors here, that making the conference tournament would be a huge step for this program. And you've been right there the last couple of seasons. For you, what's going to be the key to getting to that conference spot this year where you can compete in the postseason?
Yeah, I think we have a great opportunity to. This is the first year that we're going to get 4 teams on each side of our conference. So really, we just have to beat one more team than we normally would beat. And I think the things that we need to do is, Charlie said it earlier, playing a full 60. That's something we've all either be a first half team, or sometimes we kind of let the other team get the lead and we like to battle back. And I think just playing a consistent high level 60 minutes is going to be important for us. And then executing the little things. We've really set a lot of good goals this preseason and are going to continue that into game day, every single game day, of what are those stat pieces, whether it's clearing, 50-50s, draw control, shots on cage, saves, things like that we need to focus in on to make sure that we can win the game essentially.
Be in your mind the motto of the team this year? It doesn't have to be one word, but what the team one-liner maybe that is the goal this season for this team, or the motto that you live by?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think it's kind of a combination of what we call our big 3. So for us, that's what we want our girls to bring every day, and that's their effort, their energy, and their communication. I think if they can do those things day in and day out, it brings the fun like Charlie talked about. It brings the hard work and consistency that Riley talked about. If we can execute those things and do that to a high level, then that's kind of what we're always looking at. I think we say it literally every single day of practice. So
no doubt. Saturday. Hey, good luck. Have an awesome season. We can't wait to see you back at home on the 17th, which we know is coming sooner than what it's going to be a month and a half from now. But best of luck Saturday, and should be a fun season. Women's lacrosse on Saturday. You come on the PSA. We have the link that is equipped to Wheeling that you can watch this game as well. Coach, best of luck on Saturday. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you.
All right, women's lacrosse starting their season on Saturday. There's again a look at the schedule. 6 road games to begin the year, but March 17th will be here before you know it. That's no doubt. And we can't wait to see what this team does in 2026, and that buffalo chicken pizza is almost gone. Was it good, Riley? It was terrible. She says it was terrible, and it's completely gone. Yeah, let's get a review in here. All right, hang on. Let me take this off. What say you?
Okay. Totally mid. Just kidding. It was amazing. Thank you, John Russell, Tap House. This was awesome.
All right, great job. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. As we do every single dish of the day, would recommend. Buffalo chicken pizza, our dish today. Great stuff as always at the John Russell Brewing Company, and we hope great stuff for women's lacrosse this season as well. There again is their schedule. All right, let's go ahead and get to what's on tap. Some other events happening this weekend, including one that is happening tonight. What's on tap coming your way right. All right, what's on tap here at the John Russell Brewing Company? Lots of great food and atmosphere this weekend, and a lot more exciting stuff happening on the campus of Gannon University starting tonight. Wrestling is the name of the game. Women's wrestling, of course, with their senior night about an hour and 5 minutes from now. Once we get off this podcast, we're heading to the High Mark, and you should too. 5 seniors being honored for the Golden Knights ahead of their senior night duel against Bethany at 7 o'clock, senior night at 6:45. So hope to see you there. Really can't wait to see you out to support the Golden Knights. Men's and women's basketball, 5 games left in the regular season for both of these teams. They travel to Seton Hill for a 1 and 3 p.m. tip-off. Lacrosse, as we mentioned, against Wheeling to begin their season. And men's wrestling, folks, this is a big one. In fact, it's the biggest one of the season. This is for the PSAC Championship at the Highmark Event Center on Saturday when the Golden Knights look to take down UPJ, number 3 versus number 5 in the country. And here are your projected lineups on Saturday evening. If the Golden Knights win, they take home the PSAC Championship. And if they also get the win, they would set the program record for number of wins in a season. They're at 11 right now. That record's tied with the 96-97 team. They would get to 12 W tonight. You can see so many great guys in action, like the second-ranked Jerry Echeverria, local standout Logan Salat, fourth-ranked Jake Niff from 141 pounds, Grant McKay at 160, Pat Jackson, and of course, the night is anchored by the number 1 ranked wrestler in all of Division II at heavyweight. That's Dorian Crosby, in what would be an event that I think an admission charge would be enough to watch that one match between Dorian Crosby and Isaiah Vance. Rankings in for you as well. Women's wrestling ranked 25th by the NWCA earlier today. Men's wrestling is 3rd by the Open Mat, also 3rd by the NWCA. Hey, we want to moment tonight to 3 awards that we gave out last night as part of our awards ceremonies from yesterday's women's and men's basketball games, starting with the Rand Garrity Sportsmanship Award. Congratulations to Mason Kemp and Olivia Cernudo, who were awarded that honor last night in front of Aaron Garrity, the son of who in this award is named after Rand Garrity. It's an award that exemplifies great sportsmanship and is given out to one female and male basketball student athlete every year. We also want to take this time to congratulate our Bud Elwell Scholarship Award winners in honor of the late Bud Elwell, who was the athletic director here and has served so many roles for so many years at Gannon University. Brendan Caroli of baseball and Amy year. Congratulations to the two of them on a well-deserved recognition. As to our PNC achievers, Jacob Wright from men's wrestling and lacrosse, we just heard from them, and they were recognized in Alyssa Lurch last night as PNC achievers, for the spring 2026 semester. So congratulations to all 3 of them, all 3 award winners, I should say, from our 3 awards for earning those honors that we presented to you last night. All right, top 5 plays of the week to you in just a minute or so from now as we continue our early episode tonight. But earlier this week, we started a new segment on Instagram, and you can follow this segment every single week if you're interested. It's our new podcast poll. Every week, we're putting out a poll that you can vote on before the United podcast every single Thursday as to just a random question about Gannon, the world, whatever you consider it as. That is our poll question for the day. And our poll question this week was Valentine's Day themed, and it was very simple. What's the best Valentine's Day gift that you can get? Went with the obvious ones. There are probably others as well that we could have put on here, but we only had space for 4. You can see it was a tight race. Getting taken out to dinner was the winner at 36%, just ahead of the good old flowers, and we didn't specify which flowers, but nonetheless, everyone loves getting flowers for Valentine's Day. That was at 30%, a two-way tie between jewelry, necklace, things of that nature, and chocolate, each at 17%. So a bit of a mixed bag for your favorite Valentine's Day gift. Hey, make sure to get your significant other something for Valentine's Day on Saturday if you haven't already. They are more than deserving of your generosity. All right, that's our podcast poll. You can see that poll every single week, posted about a day or two before the podcast. So stay tuned, keep an eye out for those, and you can be part of the voting process as to our podcast poll each and every single week here on the podcast. All right, time now for our top 5 plays of the week to wrap up our show. We start at number 5, women's basketball against Cal from last Saturday. Take a look at this nice move from Kate Ratliff, a little oopsie daisy underneath the defender, and the foul in the boot. The defender didn't like it. It didn't matter. Take a look. It looked around the world to the right, but as is customary, she keeps everyone on their toes guessing, gets the contact, doesn't make a difference. The foul, the boot. Again, it would fall to Edinburgh last night, but they got the big win against Cal. They're still in a great position to be in. Spinorama, and then this play is going to develop to none other than guess who, Bree Claxton, who comes into your living room in a jiffy, but does exactly what she does almost every single play, and that's hit clutch shots. Great job by Tori there. The awareness to see the defender come in, and then Bree right now. Quick step, hop, jump, and the shot is up and good. Women's basketball, I have a lot of baskets like that, and they did over last weekend against Cal. Here's number 3. This is from Gannon Cal, the men's game on Saturday. Well, Easton Bozzoli's team, they do defense well. How about the swipe and the score? Notice the guys who made the play happen. Mackenzie Morgan was the guy who put the ball in the basket, but none other than his twin, Lucas Morgan, was the one who got the steal. They've been doing that for years. And Gannon got a dominant home win on Saturday. They also got a dominant home win on Wednesday. We'll see the number 1 play of that in a second. But at number 2, we just congratulate our PNC last night, Jacob Wright and Alyssa Lurch. You can find more info on our website, GannonSports.com. But a well-deserved honor, one of the highest ones we give out at Gannon University, and we thank them at PNC for their partnership with us in promoting those awards. Here's number 1, Pace Prosser, little crossover dribble, and then Mason Kemp. What's that coming down the track? It's a flying Mason. An absolute bomb of a dunk from Mason Kemp as he gets the nifty feed from Pace. Gannon had about 5 of them in this game. How about the Golden Knights? They outscored Edinburgh 65-26 in the second half. Ridiculous after trailing at the break for the first time all season long in last night's win against the Fighting Scots. Great atmosphere, great energy. Golden Knights get the dub, and that dunk from Mason Kemp is our number 1 play of the week in our top 5 plays. Well, we want to thank everyone for joining our podcast tonight. And again, thanks to Women's Lacrosse for being on the show. Best of luck to Riley Finnegan, Charlie Hunter, the rest of the team, and head coach Jenny Pulowski as they travel south to face Wheeling. And again, a big thank you to everyone else who was a part of our show tonight, and for John Russell Hospitality and John Russell Brewing Company for hosting us this evening. As a reminder, it's 6 o'clock. Hour to get to the Highmark Event Center to see women's wrestling senior night against Bethany. Be there, be loud. They need and deserve your support. Senior night at 6:45. Following is the duel against Bethany. Golden Knights going for a big win before the regional next week. We will see you all next Thursday back here at the John Russell Brewing Company at 6 o'clock. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday evening and a great weekend. Stay safe on the roads, and we'll talk to you all again really soon.